this fight a couple weeks ago, the one that you won. You're going to do your fight, and if everything goes well, these two guys are going to fight each other in 2026.
Between each other, Boots and Vergil, that's the biggest fight.
Fight between him and Vergil, I think that's a top-notch fight right there. That's Sugar Ray Duran right there. You know what I mean? Of this era. So
if Boots signed to fight me, that doesn't mean I'm obligated. Like that's what I mean when I say like I'm not gonna wait for anyone. Like we were both offered the fight already. We said yes, and if both sides wanted
it's
it,
like that's what makes good fights. Young, hungry fighters.
right.
That's when there's gonna be a fight.
Right.
They fighting for legacy. They fighting for that. They want that big bag. They want to be a champion. They want all that stuff. So that fight right.
Vergil Ortiz and Jaron Ennis have officially agreed to face each other in 2026, setting the stage for a highly anticipated showdown. Trainer Andre Rozier expressed his excitement about the matchup, saying he's eager to see it happen since Ennis is his nephew. Rozier acknowledged that the fight would be tough but thrilling, praising Ennis's incredible talent and Ortiz's dangerous power, making this potential clash one of the most exciting in boxing's near future.
Oh, listen, I love the fight. I have to definitely side with nephew. Boots is, I think his talent is very, very, very good, and I think it's going to be difficult. But Vergil is a monster, so it's going to be interesting. I can't wait.
Similarly, Vergil Ortiz's manager, Robert Garcia, stated that the best possible matchup for Ortiz would be against Jaron Ennis. He believes a fight between the two would be the biggest event in the 154-pound division, regardless of who holds the titles. Garcia emphasized the importance of starting the promotion early, confident that this showdown will be the biggest fight of the year.
That makes the more sense is Boots Ennis. Boots just fought. We're gonna fight in 4 weeks. Hopefully Boots comes to Dallas and they start building up the fight, because believe me, I think between each other, Boots and Vergil, that's the biggest fight at 154. It doesn't matter if Fundora has the WBC belt. It doesn't matter if the WBA, the WBO, it doesn't matter what the other belts, the other champions are doing. I think Boots and Vergil is the biggest fight.
Meanwhile, Jaron Ennis said his training camp at 154 pounds has been a massive improvement, making him feel 10 times better than he did at 147. He explained that he had more energy throughout camp and even felt strong enough to spar right up until fight week. Ennis concluded that moving up in weight was the best decision he could have made, and that the timing couldn't have been better.
10 times better.
Really?
I could eat a little more. I felt way stronger throughout the whole camp, even during like fight week. You know how sometimes in fight week when you cut weight, some fighters they'll understand what I'm saying. Like when you at 147, and I was like coming up and cutting weight and stuff like that. During fight week, you get those times and points where you don't want to do anything, like your last training day or like during fight week, you just don't want to do nothing. You just be on some lazy stuff. You just ready to get it over it. But me moving at the 154 and this training camp that I had a phenomenal training camp. But the last week of training camp, I feel like I had a bunch of energy. I could have sparred all the way up till fight day. Like I just like real like energized and things like that. So I felt great, having a 154 camp, and I'm glad I think I did the right thing at the right time. I feel great, feel tremendous.
Considering how great.
Ennis also mentioned that he heard Terrence Crawford say in an interview that he wouldn't fight him. According to Ennis, Crawford isn't interested in moving back down to 154 pounds and deserves to enjoy his recent victory over Canelo. Ennis acknowledged that after defeating Canelo, Crawford has rightfully become the face of boxing and has earned the freedom to choose his next opponent.
Interview, somebody asked him a question about him fighting me, and I heard him say he's not gonna fight me.
Why?
Yeah, I guess he said he's not coming back down to 154. So let that man enjoy his victory. He just beat Canelo. The face of boxing. So that makes Canelo. I mean, that makes Crawford the face of boxing at the moment, and he earned the right to fight whoever he want to fight.
Ariel Helwani reported that Eddie Hearn and Oscar De La Hoya had discussed arranging a future fight between Jaron Ennis and Vergil Ortiz. Both promoters agreed that if the two fighters won their current bouts, they would face each other in 2026. Helwani added that Ennis had already agreed to the plan, which would be revisited after Ortiz's next fight, as his team requested. He confirmed hearing the same details and said the matchup makes perfect sense for Ortiz's career.
Yeah.
About this meeting with DAZN and everyone where they talked about you versus Vergil. And essentially what was said, and I want to get your take on it now, that, hey, we're going to do this fight a couple weeks ago, the one that you won. You're going to do your fight. And if everything goes well, these two guys are going to fight each other in 2026. That's the agreement. What Eddie said was they went back to you, you signed. You said you were in.
I signed like that.
In. No problems,
In,
no
no
questions, nothing.
Nope.
They went back to Vergil. This is what he said. And they were like, we're going to do our fight and then we're going to revisit this. Is that what you're hearing as well?
Yeah, that's what I heard as well. You know, that's understandable though. You know, you gotta stay on task of what's in front of you. You know, and not overlooking nobody.
But you agreed before your fight.
Yeah, I did, but
Yeah.
I still was locked in on Lima. You know, even when people was asking me about the Ortiz situation, I wouldn't even say nothing about it. I'll be like, October 11th, we focusing on Lima, and that's it. You know, that's our main.
On the other hand, Vergil Ortiz revealed that both he and Jaron Ennis were offered the fight earlier, but Ennis's team initially turned it down. Ortiz explained that his manager told him Ennis's camp wanted few warm-up fights before making the matchup official. He felt that was unfair, especially since his own two fights at 154 pounds came after recovering from a serious illness that required hospitalization. Ortiz now believes Ennis's team may have reconsidered, which could make the long-awaited fight possible after just one more bout.
Is that we were both offered a fight already, and he said no. And from my manager, he told us, because the manager's the one talking to you. Yeah. Other people's managers, to other, whatever. But he said that he needed 2 tune-up fights for the fight. Whether 2 or 1 is true or not, or they changed their mind, because it's looking like they changed their mind already if they're going 1 and then supposedly to me next. But that's what it was at the time, and they said they needed 2 tune-ups, and now I don't know. You know, and people want to give me shit because I took 2 tune-ups when I moved up to 154. But the difference is I had a life-threatening illness and I couldn't make 147. I was hospitalized, and we had to make sure that I was good and healthy to keep on fighting.
Now let's talk about Gabriel Rosado. He was thrilled about the potential matchup between Vergil Ortiz and Jaron Ennis, calling it one of the best fights of this generation. Rosado agreed with Ennis that he could be the one to take Terence Crawford's place at the top, and praised his speed, power, and ability to switch stances seamlessly. He also highlighted Ennis's intelligent pressure style, starting fast, controlling the pace, and overwhelming opponents early in the fight.
I think that's a top-notch fight right there. That's Sugar Ray Duran right there. You know what I mean? Of this era. So I love that fight.
Eddie Hearn was telling me that he feels that Boots is the natural successor to Terence Crawford. Are you as high on Boots in that comparison, or what do you make?
I think Boots, you know, he got the speed, he got the power. He has the ability to switch orthodox and southpaw. So he has a lot of tools in his arsenal, man. So, you know what I mean? I think his I guess what would be his biggest flaw, but at the same time, is his greatest asset, is that he could box you and it'd be a boring match, but that's not him. He like to walk you down, so he can give an opponent an.
Danny Garcia, on the other hand, believes Jaron Ennis has the potential to become the best fighter in the world, especially with a major win under his belt. He said a fight against Vergil Ortiz would be the perfect opportunity, as it would showcase 2 young, hungry fighters at their peak. When asked for a prediction, Garcia leaned toward Ennis, explaining that Ortiz's tendency to stay stationary in exchanges could play right into Boots' advantage.
Can Boots go? Can he be pound for pound one of the top fighters in the world, 1, 2, or 3 at some point?
Yeah, definitely. I think he's already around there. Like, you know, he's looking to crack that top 10.
Right.
You know, with the right win, I think he'll get in there.
Right. How do you feel about him going up to 154 and maybe people want to see him and Vergil Ortiz?
I think that's the fight. I mean, you win that fight, you definitely in the top 10 to me.
Right.
You know,
for sure.
That's a young champion, a young killer just like you. That's what makes good fights. young, hungry fighters.
Right.
That's when you know there's gonna be a fight, you know?
Right.
They fighting for legacy. They fighting for that. They want that big bag. They want to be a champion. They want all that stuff. So that fight right there is probably would be like a fight of the year type fight.
Who wins?
I think Boots beats him just because Vergil he can fight. But I think
Taylor Gomez from Golden Boy Promotions stated that they had offered Jaron Boots Ennis a fight with Vergil Ortiz twice this year. According to Gomez, Ennis's camp declined both times, citing the need for a tune-up fight and wanting to test how his body felt at 154 pounds first. Gomez expressed frustration, saying that many top fighters claim they want to face Ortiz, but back out when the actual opportunity arises.
One guy that I forgot to mention is Boots Ennis. We were offered to fight twice this year, but for whatever reason, Boots said, you know, I want to do a tune-up fight first, or I want to do a fight first at 54 to see how my body feels. Then I'll consider fighting Vergil. So we've been dealing with a lot of that. A lot of the top guys, they say they want to fight Vergil. Right.
Regarding this potential matchup, some disagree with Eddie Hearn's claim that Vergil Ortiz's style is perfect for Jaron Boots Ennis. After Ortiz's comeback fight against Magomedov, it was clear he's a relentless fighter who forces opponents to engage on his terms. Observers noted that with his health issues behind him and his strength fully developed at 154 pounds, Ortiz has become a serious threat to anyone in the division. They concluded that this is a true 50-50 fight and dismissed the idea that Ennis would have an easy night stylistically.
Vergil Ortiz can mix it up. Vergil Ortiz will make you work for it. Anyone beating Vergil Ortiz knows that they're going to have to go to the f***ing well. Pardon my French. He will make you work. This guy is an animal. I saw it against Majimov. Majimov was having his way and he was dancing and he was jumping around and he was doing all that. And then all of a sudden Vergil was like, we ain't doing that shit no more. Got him into the corner and was working. And all of a sudden Majimov starts fighting Vergil's fight. Vergil's a big problem. He's now grown into the 154-pound division as well. So he's got all those problems that he had with the illnesses of trying to make 147s done. There's no way his style's tailor-made. It's a great fight. It's a 50-50 fight. But
Timothy Bradley, on the other hand, was confident and direct. He stated that Vergil Ortiz has no chance of defeating Jaron Boots Ennis, and even said he'd bet on Ennis to win. Bradley advised Ortiz to first prove himself by beating Sebastian Lubin before stepping into the ring with Boots. He predicted that a matchup between the two would be a pure showcase of skill versus skill, but insisted that Ortiz wouldn't be able to handle Ennis's talent and overall ability.
Vergil Ortiz ain't beating no Boots. When y'all gonna listen? Y'all ain't got to listen. Y'all ain't got to listen. Oh, I'ma put my money where my mouth is. Ooh, I'ma put my money where my mouth is. Oh yeah. Go ahead, Vergil. Get past Lubin. Get past Lubin. Make sure you take care of business. Yeah, the next fight is gonna be against Boots Ennis. And you ain't man, listen to me, people. I'm trying to tell y'all, man. I'm trying to tell y'all.
Vergil Ortiz also made it clear that he isn't obligated to fight Jaron Boots Ennis, even though both sides have recently agreed in principle. He explained that when the fight was first offered, his team accepted immediately, but nothing materialized, suggesting Ennis's camp initially declined. Ortiz added that he won't wait around for anyone and will continue moving forward with his career, implying that this new agreement doesn't guarantee the fight will actually happen.
Signed to fight me, that doesn't mean I'm obligated. Like I still, that's what I mean when I say like I'm not gonna wait for anyone. Like we were both offered the fight already. We said yes, and if both sides wanted it, then it would have happened already. So it's kind of the same thing with Xander. Like we did say yes, and I mean the fight's not happening, regardless of who said no or not. The people that said yes was my side. So now that he signed with Eddie to say that we're gonna fight, like that has nothing to do with me. Like I'm, you know what I mean? Like
when Jaron Boots Ennis signed with Matchroom, Eddie Hearn stated that a fight with Vergil Ortiz was fully agreed upon and even included in the contract. However, Golden Boy Promotions stayed silent for a while before announcing that Ortiz would instead face Sebastian Lubin. Hearn confirmed that his side had already signed the deal, and although Golden Boy later assured him they still wanted to fight, he made it clear that, from his perspective, the opportunity had passed. Hearn called it one of the best matchups boxing could have offered, but admitted the fight is now off the table.
Just to make it clear on Vergil Ortiz, we sat in a room, me, Oscar De La Hoya, Eric Gomez, and the top DAZN execs in America. We talked about how a deal would work with those two fighters, and we agreed on a deal. We went away, we signed a new deal with Boots. Part of that deal within the contract was the deal that we agreed with Golden Boy and DAZN to fight Vergil Ortiz. Boots signed it. Now, we didn't hear anything back. We told them we're going to fight in October. They said they're going to fight in November, and we haven't heard anything back. On Tuesday, Eric Gomez called me and he said, look, I just wanted to let you know we're fighting Lubin. After that,
Oscar De La Hoya claimed that Jaron Boots Ennis doesn't want to fight Vergil Ortiz, saying Ennis's team backed out after initial talks. De La Hoya added he'll only believe the fight is real once he sees Ennis's signed contract, emphasizing that Vergil Ortiz remains the best fighter in the 154-pound division, no matter what.
Fight Vergil. I mean, that's what happened, right? We called them out, we had a fight, and, then they backtracked. So until I see something on paper that Boots wants to fight Vergil, then I'll believe it.
Why do you think he doesn't want to fight him?
Because we had everybody was calling each other out, and then all of a sudden they pulled off.
Vergil Ennis, Boots' father and trainer, said he told his son to make a statement in his last fight, and he did. He revealed that both sides had already agreed to face each other, but must first defeat their upcoming opponents. Vergil added that Boots is now a much stronger and better fighter at 154 pounds after struggling for nearly 10 years to make 147.
I told him not to go out there and play around. Go out there and make a statement. He made the statement.
He did. Now that's the pressure on everybody to fan's mind is going to be what
we wait. You heard what he said in the ring?
Call out everybody.
All right, there you go. Ideally, we don't care. We want whoever got them belts.
Vergil is the fight with Lawrence and that field.
Vergil got to get past Lubin. That's what he got to get past Lubin.
But there was an agreement already made, supposedly.
Okay, if he don't get past Lubin, what about who we gonna fight him for?
Okay, is Vergil style tailor-made for Boots?
All the styles are tailor-made for Boots. But like I said, y'all didn't see nothing yet, man. You know what I mean? I told you don't go out there and play. Like I told you.
Much better at 154, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, he had 147 for 10 years, man.
When asked about a possible fight with Terrence Crawford, Jaron Ennis said he's tired of being questioned about it. He explained that Crawford has repeatedly told him he isn't interested in the fight and isn't even thinking about it. Ennis added that while he still wants the fight to happen, he's done talking about it. If it happens, it happens, and if not, he'll move on. After Ennis's win over WBA champion Wismalimet, Teddy Atlas praised him as the real deal in boxing, highlighting his exceptional skills, ability to fight effectively both inside and outside, impressive strength, speed, and solid technical foundation. Atlas also commended Ennis's mental toughness, extensive amateur background, and the excellent work of his father and trainer, Vergil Ennis, saying it's clear that Jaron is the complete package.
He's the real package. He's the full package. I've been saying this for a long time. It's no secret, and a lot of people see it, and they had their ups and downs about how they feel about him. But he's the full package. He can fight inside, outside. He can punch. He's got good hand speed. He's technically solid. His father does a good job. He's mentally right. He's got the amateur pedigree. He's the full.
The path is now clear. Jaron Boots Ennis and Vergil Ortiz have agreed to face each other in a massive showdown set for 2026. However, both fighters must first handle serious challenges ahead. Ennis is scheduled to fight Pitbull Cruz, while Ortiz will take on Sebastian Lubin. Once they overcome these tests, they'll be ready for one of the most anticipated fights in boxing. Who do you think will win the 2026 mega fight